All right. First of all, I want to thank our fans at the home game. It was awesome to be out there. We talked about it on the day of the game, but again, just going back, great environment, fun to play at home, be at 1-0. That was the goal. We had some new faces out there. We had 16 total freshmen play. We had 5 true freshmen play, and 20 new guys all together. So we had some new faces out there. They got a chance to get their experience on the blue in front of our hometown, and it was great. Those guys, there were some good things on film. There's plenty to learn from when you go back and watch the tape. That's the best part. You know, you're able to win a game against a really good football team, a veteran team on the offensive side, and come out with a win, and you got a lot to work on and a lot to get better at. You hope you can go into each and every week like that and make improvements, and that's really the mentality of this entire football team, coaching staff, is just getting better every single week. Simple as that. And if you don't, football will humble you. So we'll come back and get to work on Tuesday. Thought we had a great practice on Sunday, corrected, reviewed, went over some things for Washington State, and now we're fully on to preparing for them. About Washington State, 1-0. So a common opponent, played them last year, and got a chance to see what they're capable of doing. Obviously, offensively is they got guys starting with their quarterback, Luke Falk. I mean, that guy is he's a great player. Had a chance to come out to the NFL last year and stayed. I think at one point, going into halftime, he was 20 for 20, I think is what the stats were. So that's impressive for any quarterback in the country to do that. So they're able to throw the ball. James Williams, their running back, that guy can go. He's an all-purpose type guy because the way they run their offense, they're going to throw it, but they're going to get the ball to him, and they pitch it, then or throw checkdowns to him. He's going to make plays. They got a big old line. Those guys are big up front, and one of them, 76, Cody O'Connell. He was an All-American, very good player. But overall, offensively, these guys have been doing this for a long time. Coach Leach, knows that system and how to move the ball down the field, and they can be explosive, and they've shown that. As far as defense goes, a few guys that really stand out. Number 50, Hercules, Peyton Pleurer at middle linebacker, their free safety, Jalen Thompson, and their entire D-line. I think those guys play really well. They did a good job against Montana State, and they tried to run the ball, and the D-line was there to meet them. The quarterback runs and whatever they were trying to do in the run game. I thought their D-line played well. I thought their linebackers played well. Safeties came up and filled. So they were physical on defense, and certainly got to be prepared for that. On special teams, it's a mix. We're going to see just conventional punt, rugby punt. Don't know exactly what we'll see. We had some things go well for us on special teams, so it's still early in the year. First games, things are going to change, and certainly we've got to be prepared for that. So proud of our guys, and talked about it. Proud of the way the defense came out and played. We did win the turnover battle, which was the goal. We want to be +1 there. We won in explosives, and special teams, created some game-changing plays, which was the goal. And Avery Williams was the Mountain West Player of the Week, rightfully so. First time he touches the ball, he gets a chance to take one to the house. It's pretty awesome. So excited where our guys are at right now, but we're going back to work, bottom line. And we started that on Sunday. Guys got to come in today, get a great day of prep, and then be ready to go for Tuesday. This is no longer fall camp. You're really into that true game week, and we've got to be preparing ourselves, for the 3 days of actual reps that we get before we travel and go play at Washington State and play on the road and against a really good football team. So with that, open it for questions.
Now that you've had a little bit of time to digest it, how do you feel the quarterbacks played? And again, certainly, I think there's a lot of people that were excited by what Montel did and think, he should play more because Brett maybe didn't have his best game the last couple.
Yeah. Well, I watch the quarterbacks. The only people that matter are the ones in this building that actually watch the film. I thought Brett played well, and there were some throws. The one thing that, unless you want to go back and study the film, quarterbacks get way too much credit. They get way too much blame. I mean, you get a flash of a play, and then you blame it on the quarterback. If you truly understand football and you study it and you watch the position, you see all the other things that go into it. Brett did some good things. Certainly, there's areas to improve. No different with Montel in the quarterback position. Did some good things, areas to improve. Pick a player on our team, it doesn't matter, same thing. So, first game, you're able to take away what you learned from it, apply it to next week. I mean, it's really not about that game any longer. It's how we go and respond to what happened, what did we learn from it, and what do we take into Washington State. But nice thing is, we get to make that decision, and we get to watch our quarterbacks, and we study them, and we know quarterback play, and we know the reasons why. And there's always reasons why. It's never just blatantly, making those mistakes. And it takes all 11 guys on the offensive side to make it work, and the quarterback is part of that.
But I guess when it kind of comes to evaluating that whole situation, how do you feel like the offensive line played? And I think each of those guys had an false start, had a lot of unfavorable second and long situations, it seems, and stuff like that. So I guess how'd that play into it? What do you think the play of your line?
Yeah, you asked about the O-line. Overall, offensively, we put ourselves in too many long yardage situations. If it's 1st and 10 and you get nothing on a run, it's 1st and 10, you have a penalty. You're in 2nd and 10 plus. That's a tough down and distance. You want to stay on schedule. Everybody says that. It seems like it's just 2nd and 10. Well, you should be 2nd and 8. 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. That's the goal. Hopefully to be in a more manageable down and distance. Overall, the O-line, I thought Troy played well. I thought they brought pressure, and they did a good job. I thought they had a good plan for us offensively. But, we need to be better. As a unit, overall, on the offensive line, there's plenty to work on and plenty to improve on. And we're going to have to do that, from game 1 to game 2. There's a lot of work to be done there. Offensively, to me, you have opportunities to make plays. We got to go out there and make them, but that all happens post-snap. Pre-snap, we have pre-snap penalties. You have pre-snap issues. You're not getting up, getting set. Maybe you're not in the right position, which not everybody knows that, but we do. That's frustrating. We just had too many of those. Too many mistakes that we can control, and obviously that's going to help us post-snap when the ball is in play, and we're going to be able to make more plays because of it.
Been a lot of talk about, there was coming in about Joel Velasquez. We saw Skillen and Hogarth both get a lot of action there. I guess could you just talk about how that played out, and then also you guys didn't really huddle much recently until this game. You huddled almost every play. Was that just because of the heat to take a breather, or what kind of went into huddling so much?
Yeah, well, as far as the specialists go, Quinn's a guy we haven't talked much about. He was kind of a guy that came in here and has just steadily got better. I think the first punt wasn't real impressive, but after that, he settled in. And he's got that mentality. He knows it. He's going to coach himself up, and he went out there and he bombed another one, and played really well. Hayden just had a solid camp. Between he and Joel, those guys have been back and forth as far as with field goals and all that. And Hayden just did a nice job. He was steady through camp. He was consistent, showed up in the game, what you saw. And, he's a guy that came here to play too. And so I felt good about putting him out there, and he showed up. I thought Joel did a great job on the kickoffs. You can see the strength of Joel's leg. When he's timed up, his steps are right. He's able to put it through the back of the end zone. That's a weapon in itself. When your kickoff team can run down there and know that they're probably going to get a good kick. Now, whether they bring it out or not, they're going to get a good kick, and there's going to be some time on it where they can cover. That gives those guys confidence and time when they run down. As far as the offense, part of the plan going into the game, we huddled. We had some no huddle in there. We had some tempo stuff we wanted to use. But that's just a mixture of what we do. You know, we've huddled before. We've gone no huddle before. It wasn't because of the heat. Yeah, it wasn't. We didn't want to get 11 guys in there all huddled up on a hot day, and we didn't do it because of that. We did it because that was part of our plan. We did it because there's still an element of that component in football, I believe, that you get in the huddle, you call a play, you're able to, communicate, and that's a big part of it. I think that was a reason why we were doing it. Get those guys in there, communicate the play, let them get up, get set, let them see it. And so, we still have our elements of no huddle, and it really comes down to a little bit of opponent and what we think we have to do. So the mixture of both is there. But you're right, we huddled more in this game, but it didn't have to do with the heat. It was communication. It was getting the right people in there, and you got 5 true freshmen. You got not just playing on the offensive side, but you got 2 guys at the wide receiver position, potentially a running back, going into this game that we didn't use, Drake. And, so that was going to help, too, with the communication part of it.
You mentioned after the game the play Desmond made, and all the replays I've seen, you still haven't seen one that shows what he was doing and where he came from. So
yeah.
When you watch film, what was he doing on that play, and how did he end up where he ended up to make that play?
Yeah, so he was in coverage, and so he was on the inside receiver. Okay, they had a 2-receiver side. He's on the inside receiver, and when they threw it out there to the left, Reed's in. So what Dez is doing, Dez is really covering his guy. The ball is out, so he whips his eyes around to the sideline, to watch where Reed's at right there, and sees Reed, going to make the play, and so he's kind of working towards Reed. And, the ball goes through his hands, and their receiver catches it. And Dez just put his foot in the ground and went right to the corner. At the end of it, I don't know if you can see it, his hand. I think that was probably the most impressive part. He was playing full speed. He was turned. He was going to, probably go help if there was an interception, get involved in that, which our defense has done a great job in practices working that. But as he went to the kind of the pylon of the end zone there, I think the impressive thing, he reaches out there and just a little flick of the hand on the ball. So he just hit it just right. The guys doesn't have great ball security, and he's trying to maybe stick it out there to put it over the line, and Dez is able just to pop it out. That's a huge play. We didn't see it as a team. We came in here and our video was down, so I didn't show it, and everybody got a chance to see it. They went back and watched it themselves, but I wanted to show that, and I'll show it on Tuesday. Just the hustle. That's don't assume anything. You never know. You think a guy's going to make a play, you let up, you might turn up field. You still got to make sure it happens, and that's what Dez did. And, that's a huge play and a huge hustle play for a young guy. And I thought for our team, that was motivating for guys to see that, obviously to make that play, but just more of the hustle, because that's been something we've talked about through our practices of just playing like that, and we actually did it.